Donald Jones. I'm 25 years old from Plainfield, New Jersey. You know, born and raised right across the street, Millenburg Hospital. Well, I was born in Millenburg Hospital, raised right here in Plainfield. I was born in '87, so I grew up, I guess, in the '90s. For me, growing up, I grew up down on Rushmore, so you know it was kind of a rough area. You know, I've been through a lot, seen a lot. I pretty much stayed in sports my whole life, you know, which kept me out of the streets. So for me, I mean, it was fun back then. For me, I ain't really, you know, realize how bad it was. I was just having fun. It's the old stomping ground. I used to hate being out here. Yeah.
Donald, what's up, man?
What's up with you? Yeah, we're out here right now. Usually we were down there. We would run the whole length of the field. You know, the dog days, it'd be like 100 degrees when we was out here. You know, they got it easy right now. It's like, it ain't too hot. I mean, my upbringing, my parents worked, my father had a landscaping business. You know, they got me whatever I wanted. I was spoiled. I was the only child for 11 years. So I was spoiled for a lot of my life. I wasn't poor, you know, I just grew up in a rough area. I mean, I would go out every summer and work with my father. Well, not every summer, but a lot of the summers when I felt like I could deal with him. It was hard working with him in the summer back then. I didn't really want to hear his mouth and things like that. But
How old were you then?
Man, I worked with him from when I was a young kid all the way through high school. You know, he taught me a lot about the machines, driving all the different machines and things like that. You know, he was always one to be well-rounded and not just sports. You know, I always wanted to go to the NFL, but he was always one that spoke on being well-rounded. I was about maybe 6 or 7. My older cousins played. I watched them all the time, and you know, I wanted to play. So my mother, she finally let me play. You know, moms don't want their kids playing football for the most part. She finally let me play, and I was good at it, so there was no turning back. Yeah, my cousins played at Plainfield High School. At that time, they were older than me, but around my same age, so they were playing in Pop Warner. And you know, that's where I started, Pop Warner, playing for the Cardinals down in Solid Field.
Okay.
And you know, I watched them, and I wanted to do it. So. Man, Pop Warner, I played everything. I played everything. I was a kicker, the quarterback, running back. Man, every place on the field they could put me, they put me. It got to the point where they had to like take me out of games because we were like beating up on teams too bad. I might have had too many touchdowns or something like that, so they'd take me out. So I played everything. Or they'd move me like to offensive line or something like that.
Right.
Somewhere where I couldn't really make an impact on the game. So from the very beginning, it was a lot about football. I played baseball as well, you know, and I was just as good, probably better in baseball than football. You know, that took a lot. I didn't have that love for baseball, like I was just good at it. I loved football, so I pretty much put all my energy into football. Baseball was just something that I was good at. I played it all through high school. I stopped my last year in high school. And you know, now I look back and wish I still played. You know, maybe I'll go and try out for a team.
Why not?
You know, when I was in high school, I played football. I was good at it. I wanted to, you know, I watched it on TV. I wanted to always go to college and play football. I wanted to get to that level. And then when I got to junior college, I would be watching the combine and things like that, and I would, you know, compare the things that I could do to what they were doing, and I was like, I can do exactly what they're doing. So, you know, I had a lot of scholarship offers and things like that, so I felt like I could make it. And then when I got to Youngstown State, it was just like, I'm going all in, and you know, I'm gonna make it. So that's pretty much everything that I did was based on making it to the NFL, and you know, I ended up making it. So that's when I realized, like, man, all this paid off. And my first play, I like dropped the dude. I hit him hard. I dropped him. So it was like all that excitement and all that hard work, and just went straight through him. Boom. Well, when you're in high school and you're sitting and watching, you don't really know about a true, weight program and things like that. What makes you successful on the field. When you're in high school, you're just naturally gifted. You work out, but you don't know how to work out. You don't know about the nutrition and things like that. You don't really get that stuff until you get to college. When you get to college, it's a whole different ball game. The nutrition programs and the summer workouts and things that you have to do to make it. You got to really be a different person. So you got to make that decision, like you said, early in high school. And then when you get to college, it has to just be, I'm going to make it. I got to be different than everybody else on and off the field, in the classroom. When it comes to partying and all of that stuff, when everybody else is partying, I got to be at home watching film or working out, doing extra work. For the kid that's still in high school, the honesty of the situation is, hard work is everything. Really, you have your dreams, you have your goals in making it to the league. For a young kid in high school, the biggest thing is to get your education. So you got to use football to get your education, which is, going to college. So really, if you're good at it, your biggest thing when you're in high school is going to college. You shouldn't even be thinking about going to the NFL. I know deep in the back of your mind, you're like, I want to make it. But your first thing is, I want to go to college and I want to get that education. Because, in all honesty, it's slim to none chances of you making it to the NFL. And if you make it, it's even slimmer for you making the team. So, that education is something that you always have to get. You're going to need that to fall back on. So that's pretty much what I'll say to a kid in high school. I cannot remember how many touchdowns I had.
1,000?
Nah.
How many yards?
I had over 1,000 yards my senior year, if I'm not mistaken. I was all state, all county, all of that stuff. I played in the North-South game, which is like the all-state game for New Jersey. North Jersey versus South Jersey, which was played at Rutgers. I won the MVP for that game. I went over 100 yards that game with a touchdown. So, I had some fun times here. We would be like, I would be out here right now in the summertime, and I'd be one of the guys that in practice watching the cheerleaders or something like that. That was terrible.
Fitzpatrick, deep right side. Oh, man. Flag. I thought we might see one.
Nearly 12 minutes left in this game.
Fitzpatrick.
Oh. It's Vince Wilfork. Vince dropped into coverage, and he just pile drives Donald Jones.
Second and 6, quick pass is complete, and there he goes, Donald Jones. Jones cuts it to the far side. Can he get there? Touchdown.
The honesty of the situation is, hard work is everything. My career lasted, I had a short career, it only lasted 3 years, because of health issues. Yeah, when I first was diagnosed in college, the doctors told me that it would progressively, become worse. It was something that I was in denial, when I got it. And you play in the NFL, it takes a lot to get through seasons. So I had to take a lot of medicines and things that I shouldn't have been taking just to make it through seasons, a lot of pain meds and things. So that's what really made it worse. It probably happened a lot faster than it would have if I wasn't, taking those things and stuff like that. So, right. I don't regret any of it. I had fun in the league. Everything happens for a reason. you know, and the league is rough, so you got to do what you got to do to get through. Education was always the cradle. When you make it to the NFL, it's a business, so it's all about money. It's all about making the money as fast as you can while you're in there before you have to get out. And you know, that was pretty much what I did while I was in the league. I was trying to make the money that I could before, you know, my time was up. And you know, now it's time to get back to education and get back to life after football and business life and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm writing a book right now, and I'll talk about it in there. You'll be seeing me a lot. I'm doing a lot with different foundations around the country. I'll be going on Dr. Oz. You know, he wants me to come on so I can talk about the whole kidney disease. You know, what I have is very rare, so my foundation is small. So we're doing a lot to get the awareness up on the disease that I have.
And specifically, what is the disease that you have?
I have what's called IgA nephropathy. So, you know, it's really just the filters of your kidney, you know, they really go bad. You know, over time, they just get worse and worse. At a certain point, yeah, I will have to get a transplant. You know, I'm going through the process right now of getting on the list and all of that. You know, getting my whole family tested to see who's going to be able to give me a kidney. After that, you know, you pretty much live a normal life. It's sad to say that, you know, my disease, it doesn't go away when you get a transplant. It usually attacks again. My disease is not a kidney disease. It's, you know, autoimmune disease that attacks the kidney. So, you know, when I get a new kidney, it's going to attack it, but, you know, I'll be a lot better educated on how to, you know, slow it down and not be taking medicines and things that I shouldn't be taking. I received a lot of support, you know, from all over the country, international support. You know, fans just, especially on my Twitter, you know, thousands of fans, you know, pouring in with, you know, we're sorry to hear that, you know, hoping you get better, or, you know, some of my family members been going through the same thing. People, you know, I give you a kidney, things like that. So, you know, it's good to have that support from everybody. You know, and now I'm in a different battle now. So, you know, I have a son to be here for. So, you know, I'm battling this whole thing so that I can make sure I can see him, you know, become a man and raise his own kids. He's a blessing. You know, I had an older brother who died. My son was born on his birthday, so, you know, he has the same name as him. It's an amazing feeling to come home and, you know, he runs straight to me. You know, he's like, "Daddy!" And all he wants to do is just climb all over me. So no matter what I'm going through, when I go home, you know, he can put a smile on my face every day because he's just, you know, he's a happy kid unless he's, you know, tired or hungry or something like that, and he's getting on my nerves.
Right, wait till he's 18.
Yeah.
That's great.
You know, I really believe that you have to be well-rounded, just like my father taught me, and I believe that you have to see the best of both worlds. You have to see what's not so good. You have to see, you know, you got to be exposed to everything to be a well-rounded person. A lot of kids don't get to leave Plainfield, so they don't really get to see what's out there. And then a lot of kids that, you know, have a lot of money don't get to see what's going on in the inner city or things like that. So, you know, you miss out on another culture, and that makes you, you know, it makes you blind to a lot of things that are really going on in the world. So, you know, my son, I really want him to see everything. So, you know, he'll probably be, you know, raised right here in Plainfield, or if not, it'll be somewhere right here. And, you know, my whole family will be. My little brothers and sisters, everybody. Coaches are like, "I don't feel sorry for yourself." Stuff like that.
It's like Marines.
Yeah, it's like, man, get out of here, man. I'm trying to go home and get sleep. You know, I would say, you know, like I said before, get your education. You know, keep them grades up. Once the grades drop, it's hard to get that GPA back up. You know, I went through it when I was in high school, my freshman and sophomore year. You know, I had fun. That's all I did, and I let my grades drop. and I couldn't get them back up when it came time, when schools were coming in and looking at me, you know, they wanted to offer me scholarships and things like that. I couldn't go. So I lost out on hundreds of thousands of dollars because I couldn't get through clearinghouse. I couldn't get into the school. No matter how much the coaches wanted me, I couldn't get into the school.
Because your GPA, in effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, you know, don't let that happen to you. Keep those grades up, get that education, get that degree. That's most important. And then, you know, hard work. If you want to make it to the league, it takes hard work. It takes dedication. You know, you got to be different. In the point blank period, you got to be different than everybody else. When you go to college, everybody else is partying. Like I said, you got to be doing extra workouts, things like that, instead of out having fun, watching film, just trying to get better, perfecting your craft at all times. And maybe you can make it. You know, like I said, the chances are slim to none, but who am I to say that you won't make it? You always pursue your goals, and, you know, it'll happen. If you're good enough, they'll find you, and that's the truth. You know, the league they do their homework. You know, they're getting guys from Division III schools, from King University. So, you know, don't ever think just because you have to go to a smaller school that they can't find you. If you're good enough, they will find you. And that's pretty much, you know, I went to a smaller school. I went to a 1AA school, and I had, you know, just as many scouts as somebody at Alabama coming to watch me every day. You know, I had 5 to 10 teams at my practices watching. You know, I played in the big all-star games and things like that coming out of college, and it was something that, you know, I shouldn't have been doing because I was on a smaller scale. I watched all these guys play on TV every Saturday after my game. So if you're good enough, they'll find you, and just believe that you can do it.